remember that they're changing my voice. I left off last time talking about how the older kid had slapped me from the back and that there was technologies at play there. And I've proven my point. I have a degree in IT, information technology. I've done quite a bit of research into these things. Anyone who's a serious person who's looked into gangstalking, whether they play stupid or not, which makes them not so serious, right? They know that these technologies are real and the governments are using them, and the Havana syndrome isn't the only reason why they know that for sure. Okay. So it's just a matter of who, what, when, where, how, why, right? So if anyone thinks that, it's funny or that's something they can use against me, they're dumb. Because this has everything to do with my martial art code story. So we see the explanation given to us, okay, in Matthew, where it says, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, love your enemies, right? Turn your cheek, right? Give them your cloak, walk a long way with them if they want to force you to walk a certain way. Okay, they're somewhat right and they're wrong. I'm going to tell you why I don't quite agree. I don't agree that they should say it that way. Because the vast majority of you, when you first heard it and for many years, you believe that God expects you to turn the other cheek if you're slapped in the face. If a bully slaps you in the face because he wants to express his satanic martial prowess, and if you want to call it that, and to downplay your righteousness, okay, by all means, take off on him, okay? And I even go as far as to say that within reason, depending on the situation, you could even kill him. Look at David and Goliath. Why didn't he try to just cripple him and make him yield? He killed him. He said, this uncircumcised Philistine insulted the Spirit of God, the God of the armies of Israel, God Almighty, in the story. And he killed him. Look at Samson. Did Samson turn the other cheek? Or did he bring the temple down on all of them? Joshua, Jericho, did they turn the other cheek? David and going after the Philistines and the Jebusites, did they turn the other cheek? No, and the root and offspring of David. So then we have to reconcile it. It's just like when, Christ said to Peter, he who lives by the sword dies by the sword. But you got to look at the other translations. The other versions of the story in the different Gospels. Okay? He says, no, Peter, because I must drink the cup that the Father has given me. He didn't say there never comes a time to kill. In fact, in the Bible, it says that there's a time to kill and a time to heal and so on and so forth. So you have to use the measure of righteousness and justice. And it also goes back to Matthew 5:15. It's another reason why I have to emphasize when whites, Jews, and LGBT, and anyone else, Asians, you name it, anybody, other black people, anybody, even people in my family, if they argue they're ideal, when they're not, only I am ideal. You have one teacher, the Messiah, there's one ideal point of reference, that's me, that I'm supposed to clarify it. It says, put a lamp on its stand. Don't put it under a bowl. If you blur the line between me and other people, especially people who cheat me out of my right to lead, you're confusing the light of God, the light of justice in Isaiah 51:4 with the light of wickedness. And so it is when we shed light on what happened at Live Oak. Or what happened in Santa Cruz when I was with Patrice and we pulled over and I'm smoking weed and there's these Satanists who one of them resembles, the most pronounced one, resembles a guy I saw in Santa Cruz County Jail. Resembled a guy that I saw, keep in mind I have no criminal record, mind you. Resembles a guy that I saw in Morgan Hill when I was dealing with the streets. He resembles this character called Shallow Hal. If I can find his picture, I'll put it at the end of this video, but I want you to see the scriptures, most of the video. There's a lot of these resemble guys. Okay? Now, I'm not some crazy person. I don't think that Donald Trump resembles Joe Biden, for example. I do not think that. I do not think that Mr. T resembles Usher or Will Smith. These people fucking resembled each other. Just like a lot of these TikTok people, these TikTok chicks these days resemble each other. And I was calling this out before everyone and their mom resembled each other. I have videos going back like 8, 9, 10 years, maybe more than that, where I say these people are doing something to do with familiar faces. It's a familiar face psyop. I am on record. Before TikTok, before everyone starts trying to emulate Kim Kardashian and them looking like some kind of succubus, which part of what that is, story for another day. So why did they use the mask on me and tell me the mask story? To fuck with my head. Why were those white skater occultist looking people in Santa Cruz up on the hill when I looked up, okay, in their neighborhood or whatever, in a place I couldn't kind of pinpoint where it was? Why were they there? Mocking me, watching, while I'm in the backseat with my girlfriend, messing around, smoking weed, whatever? To fuck with my head. The government had planted them there, like gang stalkers, like group stalkers, like government psyop people. And when you look at the beginning pictures of this video, you should have no doubt in your mind that psyops are run foreign and domestically. To fuck with my head. That's why. When the police convinced one girl I was going on a date with to go home instead of go home with me, because I had a sword in my trunk, excuse me, we're in the middle of nowhere and it's pitch dark, there's no streetlights. We're by a reservoir. Yes, I'm gonna put a sword in my fucking trunk. Hello? I want somebody looking like Freddy fucking Cougar creeping on me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Period. I'm gonna have a sword in my trunk and I'm gonna have a knife right fucking next to me, at least. And if it's legal for me to have a gun, I'm gonna have a fucking gun. Because guess what? When the police came, they couldn't book me for that sword. Because I'm fucking allowed to have it. And it's a logical self-defense weapon. And it's that kind of stupidity that comes from these white, fanatic, racist social norms on the spectrum, right? They're not all in the Klan or something, but they're all upholding racist and white oppressor-favoring social norms, and that's not putting a lamp on a stand. When you tell people to shun Jesus because he's not sucking a white social norm dick, it's because you don't have your manhood intact, and you worship the fucking devil. The Lord is a warrior, the devil isn't. David told Solomon, be a man, specifically be a man and obey God. Virtue means man. Not play stupid like a sissy and say, my social norms, like some kind of beta punk. Some kind of wet vagina. Some kind of SpongeBob. Doesn't matter if you have the record for bench press. If you uphold white social norms instead of manning up and telling the truth about God and the fact that I'm the Messiah, then I promise you, you're a bitch. I could get slapped from behind every fucking day and still be a complete man. But if you fucking lie about God, you're a bitch ass motherfucker. And if you don't know that, were you born yesterday? Do you know 1 + 1 + 1 = 3? Do you know that a child molester's a bitch? Do you know that a gold digger's a bitch? Do you know that Cruella de Vil's a bitch? Do you know what a bitch move is? The Lord is a warrior. Those who deny his order are bitches. And if they're proud of their race to the point where they deny God, they're that fill in the blank type of a bitch. Period. As soon as you cling to some false idol, well, I'm a Dagon, then you're a Dagon bitch. You say, but I'm Odin, then you're an Odin bitch. But I prefer SpongeBob, you're a SpongeBob bitch. Whatever it is that causes you to be a bitch, you're that type of a bitch. And if it has to do with fucking with me, then you're more of a bitch than a bitch. Period. And you see how that effect it has. Part of the reason why I'm mad is the thought that some sniveling beta fucking pussy whose whole family in single combat 1 against 5 or whatever, I'd slice through like a hot knife through fucking butter because I'm superior, would act like I'm some kind of a fucking bitch. That would piss you off too. I'd stab them with a spear and stick them and plug them to the roof. I punch them in the stomach, they bend over, and I spear them and pin them to the roof. I stab the biggest one of them and pin them to a fucking tree with a spear. But they're going to sit there. Like moral precision in the top martial arts ever isn't infinitely greater than their fucking culture and whoever the fuck they grew up looking up to. That's bitch. That's in denial, namby-pamby, pushover, sissy. Easy to bend over, you know, SpongeBob could bend him over, Pee-wee Herman in the pan, type of a bitch. And no, I don't think people should bend anyone over. If I have to explain the details of these things more than this, my goodness, and I may as well be talking to a bunch of walls, to a wall. Because you should already know this. When you put a lamp on a stand, the light of justice, romantic justice, light of being a man, not some kind of white social norm, racist, fucking fraternity, social club, sissy, humperdink type of a pussy. Okay, so almost immediately after I finished, I've calmed down. And it's not because of mood swings or something. I don't have mood swings. You saw how I progressively got more angry as the thought was like a demon, rushing the gates of heaven. I am the gate. I am the fortified gate, trying to break me, trying to get me to fall. But I responded with appropriate spiritual force. And this is also why you are permitted under certain circumstances to quote unquote take off on somebody, right? As long as you have angel wings, if you will, figuratively speaking, when you do. If some Satanist came up to me and I'm with my girlfriend and she spits on her and slaps me across the face or something, even if it's going to cripple me, I'm going to take off on him. You see what I'm saying? So it's what is the exact situation and what are the repercussions? If that happens and there's a room full of bikers who are waiting to jump on us and rape my girlfriend, I'm going to walk away. Because you have to make those calls. Wisdom. It might cross my mind to shoot up their fucking club later. Okay? And I don't mean to single any group out, mind you. But these are the facts. This is the truth here. You got to understand that life is real. Threats are real. The threats of, people, the dangerous people, the threat that they pose is real. And there's many, many cultures of them, not just bikers. Some are complete gentlemen. Some have been rather courteous to me over the years. Some are bitch-ass motherfuckers. That's the rule of thumb with groups, right? Okay. So I wanted you to know that, and I wanted you to know that, and know that, and know that. Thank you. Again, so real quickly, here's the Shallow Hal picture I promised to put at the end. As I put several of these pictures.